Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhus and Matajis, please accept my humble obeisances. All great Srila Prabhupada. We are very happy to welcome you all to the fourth session of the online Vyasa Puja celebration. We are all gathered here to celebrate the 125th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada as being organized by His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami. Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, whose mercy is constantly pouring like a rain on everyone and everything without considering any color, nation, creed, or caste, no discrimination at all, and is just pouring down on everyone and everything. And all that we need is to become a good recipient of that mercy. The attempt of this online Vyasa Puja celebration is to show Srila Prabhupada's success in connecting three generations together, and who today is willing to shoulder responsibilities and to take forward the spiritual legacy. So we are indeed very, very grateful to you, Srila Prabhupada. And now we especially welcome His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami, who is with us, and we seek his blessing and permission to start today's session. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Srila Gurudev. And now we would like to invite Her Grace Yogini Devidasi for the language interpretation announcement. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining us today. And today we will have speakers of both languages, English and Portuguese. So in order for you to hear in English the simultaneous interpretation from Portuguese, we request you to please, for desktop users, go to this, click on this globe icon on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and then you will see a pop-up screen, a pop-up drop-down menu, and then please select on your language, the language of your choice, in this case, English. And then you will be ready to listen to the translation. And for mobile users, please click on the more icon on those three little dots that you can see on your phone, then click on language interpretation on the globe, and then click on English. Thank you very much. Now I will explain the feature in Portuguese. Olá a todos, Hare Krishna, por favor, para ouvir em português, selecione, se você tiver em desktop ou laptop, o globo, o ícone do globo no canto inferior direito da sua tela. Depois, no menu, você escolha português. E aí, você poderá, então, ouvir a tradução em português. Para aqueles que estão no celular, por favor, clique no ícone mais, os três pontinhos, e depois clique em Language Interpretation, no globo, e vai aparecer uma seleção de línguas, clique em português, e depois em Done, D-O-N-E, e aí você terá acesso à interpretação em português. Thank you very much, muito obrigada.
Thank you so much, Yogini. And now, dearest devotees, let us see what is on the schedule for us today. So our first part of the program, we will have Her Grace Mukti Hetu Mataji from Brazil. She's a Prabhupada disciple, and she will reading her offering. And then after that, we will have His Holiness Bhakti Charudesh Maharaj, and the topic is Gift of Srila Prabhupada. And then we will have His Grace Ananta Acharya Prabhu, who will be reading his offering, followed by a musical instrument, which will be a Bhajan Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, which has been organized by the devotees in Nairobi, followed by offerings of grand and great-grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And then we will be having Srila Prabhupada himself speaking, and the topic is, if you get money, print books. And then we will continue with the offering of grand and great-grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And we will end the session by a wonderful lecture by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and topic is Prabhupada technique. Also, not to forget that we will be having our quiz session, where the top 3 devotees who answered all the questions correctly and repetitively in every 5 sessions will be rewarded with a special mercy prize in terms of a spiritual prize for the winner. And also not to forget, in your chat box, if you have any question, any query, you need any kind of assistance, you can ask your servant in the chat box, and they will gladly get back to you to assist you. Thank you. Right, so now we shall be starting our program for today. And our first speaker of the day, is Her Grace Mother Mukti Hetu from Brazil. To note, dearest devotees, that Mataji will be reading her offering in Portuguese, and we request and invite all devotees to please shift yourself to the English channel to be able to understand her offering. Unfortunately, Mataji is not with us, but she has sent her video offering, which we will watch after her introduction. So Mukti Hetu Mataji, she's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada and have received initiation in 1976. She got to know Krishna consciousness movement by reading Srila Prabhupada's book, and then went to reside in the temple at Sao Paulo in 1975. There she have received knowledge and different training of different services like deity worship, cooking, receiving visitors who is coming to the temple, and her main service has always remained Sankirtan. She's currently living at Navagopur and still does the same services that she has been doing, and especially taking care of the guests who are coming to visit the farm. So we are very happy to have Her Grace Mukti Hetu Mataji with us today. And even if she couldn't come personally, she has sent a video offering for all of us. And dearest devotees, let us move to the English channel to be able to understand her offering. We welcome her, and thank you for being with us.
Namaon, Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhutale, Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Pastyachate Satarine. Mensagem. Por favor, aceite minhas respeitosas reverências a teus pés de lótus, que são o abrigo mais seguro. Por sua infindável misericórdia, neles nos refugiamos, por serem as mais belas joias de precioso tesouro. A mensagem chegou através da sua divina graça, concedendo os maiores benefícios à humanidade. Plantou a rara semente da trepadeira da devoção em todos os lugares, nas aldeias, vilas e cidades. Com a potência das tuas preciosas qualidades divinas, removeu a crosta do materialismo dos nossos corações. Até mesmo os perdidos poços escuros, cheios de entulho, se transformaram em fontes cristalinas, além das ilusões. A rede da ignorância era totalmente intransponível. Ninguém poderia atravessar este oceano na escuridão. Com a força da devoção, o capitão do barco nos salvou, devido à sua forte, pura e inquebrantável determinação. A misericórdia sem causa do belo Senhor Chaitanya inspirou o mais íntimo desejo do seu nobre coração, sendo assim o escolhido para a missão mais gloriosa, ficando imortalizado na corrente desta divina sucessão. Srila Prabhupada nos revelou o auspicioso caminho com a brilhante luz do conhecimento transcendental, sempre manifestando a incansável paciência do sábio, cumpriu sua missão, a ordem do seu mestre espiritual. Por ser a personalidade mais auspiciosa para o mundo, foi sempre coroado pelas bênçãos do Supremo Senhor. Plantou nos corações a mais almejada de todas as sementes, expandindo em todas as direções este transcendental amor. Srila Prabhupada, magnânimo e compassivo guerreiro, veio à terra dos cegos na perigosa tempestade das eras, e o mais terrível inverno das nossas vidas desbotadas, ele o transformou na mais doce e brilhante primavera. Sabemos bem o que o Senhor espera de cada um de nós, na forte batalha para despertar o mundo adormecido. Com tuas instruções, alimentamos o nosso entusiasmo, dedicados ao serviço dos teus guerreiros destemidos. Tuas sublimes e magníficas qualidades transcendentais são as joias que ornamentam sua incomparável história. A presença de Bhakti nutrindo o eterno amor por Krishna é o mais puro néctar que alimenta tua esplêndida vitória. Todas as glórias ao Senhor, querido Srila Prabhupada. As mensagens dos seus livros são nosso maior presente. Que destas divinas mensagens eu possa ser um exemplo. Me conceda ser a serva dos teus servos eternamente.
Hare Krishna. We thank you so much, Mukti Hetu Mataji, to have sent this beautiful and heart-touching offering and to be with us for this session. Thank you. And now, dearest devotees, we would like to proceed with the garland ceremony, and we request the devotees in Nigeria to kindly offer Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Maharaj garland. And we are also very happy to welcome with us His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and we request His Grace Jaganivas Prabhu to please offer the Mahagarland to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, all the way from Shri Krishna Balaram Mandir, Vrindavan.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept our humble obeisances of Srila Prabhupada. Jaganivas Prabhu is kindly offering you the Mahagarland. Please accept our offering.
First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this very wonderful program. My obeisances to His Holiness Srila Kavichandra Swami Maharaj. My obeisances to His Holiness Dhira Damodara Maharaj. My obeisances to Gurudev Srila Bhakti Maharaj and to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembly of devotees. Hare Krishna. Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namine. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Satmani Shri 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐴 Sakti Bhakti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Sarvasudeve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Patsachartarne. Mukam Kaloti Vachalam Pangam Lagate Girim Bhaktri Patahapande Shri Rum Jinatharam. Hare Krishna, everyone. Yes, how many minutes do I have? Please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, you have approximately 20 minutes. Maharaj,
20
is it okay? 20.
Good. Okay.
Maharaj, is it okay if I do the introduction? If I do your introduction first?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay, dearest devotees, so we would like to welcome His Holiness Bhakti Charudeshna Maharaj, who is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, having joined ISKCON in 1987, and then he received his first initiation in 1987 itself, and his second initiation in 1995, where His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami instructed him to act as a temple president in ISKCON Côte d'Ivoire. After many years as temple president and involving in Harinam Sankirtan, book distribution, deity worship, again His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami sent him to India, Mayapur and Vrindavan for further training and to take his course of Bhakti Shastri and other Vaishnava courses. And when he came back to Côte d'Ivoire, his Gurudev told him, now you have to go to India and learn many things. It is time for you to travel all over Africa and to preach what you have learned. His Holiness Bhakti Charudeshna Maharaj, he took sannyas initiation from His Holiness Kavichandra Maharaj in 2015. Now as a coordinator in ISKCON West Africa, he traveled regularly to preach, inspire devotees in Togo, Benin, Burkina, Congo, Mauritius, Reunion Island, and also South Africa. And also now we know that Maharaj is eligible to officially accept disciple. So thank you, Charudeshna Maharaj, for being with us for this session, and the screen and our virtual Vyasa is all yours now. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, so small offering today is a small talk on the gift of Srila Prabhupada. Actually, when it comes to gifts, we all know that gift is very important. And it is said that during the initiation of a disciple, the spiritual master gives something very valuable that even the parents, the mother, the father, cannot give to their own son. And what is that? That gift is the Mahamantra, the Japamala, Japa beads. Because that is a key to Goloka, a key to our original abode. The same way, Srila Prabhupada gave us a gift that is incomparable. We cannot get it anywhere. What is that gift? That gift is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the package. Everything is there. You know, many times, Srila Prabhupada said that everything exists in this world, but the only thing missing is God consciousness. Yeah, God consciousness is missing. So this Krishna consciousness Srila Prabhupada brought to us is very valuable. Before we all joined ISKCON movements, we're all in darkness. Actually, you can see the real meaning of this prayer, Om Jnanam Timirandhasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya. Yes, we are really born in the darkest region, and the spiritual master opened our eyes to the touch of knowledge. Yeah, to wake up means to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, how can you know God? Many people claim to know God, but they don't even know their own identity. Aham Brahmasmi, which is opposite to Aham Mameti. Many people, they believe and they accept that their body is a self. Yeah. But Srila Prabhupada gave us that knowledge that we are not the body. And when we know that we are not the body, then what's next? The next thing is to reconnect to our original father. Again, Srila Prabhupada mentioned many times that we claim to be brothers and sisters. But he asked the question, okay, if you are brothers and sisters, then who is your common father? Your father. Father is not there. That's why there are so many disturbances in this society, this modern society. So if you bring God, if you bring Krishna in between, everything will be perfect. The pranam of Srila Prabhupada himself, the last one, the last line, Nirvisesa Sunyavadi. Nirvisesa Sunyavadi, Patsichadisatari. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada came to deliver the Western countries, which is filled with impersonalism and voidism. Yeah. Before Prabhupada came, everything was void, zero. And he said, many zero means zero. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 means 0. But he brought one. One is Krishna. So if you put one before thousands of zero, then these zeros have value. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada, he gave us that Krishna consciousness to open our eyes, to make us reconnect to our original father. Many before Srila Prabhupada arrive in America, in the Western countries, already we are having many versions of Bhagavad Gita, many versions of Bhagavad Gita. But these Bhagavad Gita were they are basically personal teachings. That's why he wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is. So the other Bhagavad Gita, everything is there except Krishna. Can you imagine? Bhagavad Gita, the Son of God. Everything in that book, that God himself is not there. Can you imagine kingdom of God without God himself? Can you imagine a palace without a king? That is exactly what was happening in the word of Bhagavad Gita. A personal approach, personal Bhagavad Gita. That Srila Prabhupada, he revealed us that from A to Z, we can find Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is like the remedy, the solution of all our problems. We are so much experts in creating problems and disturbances, but no solution. Yeah, scientists, advancement of society, civilization, so much inclined to create so many disturbances and problems. Bhagavad Gita has a solution of everything. Everything is there in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, and we can say that the 98% of people that practice religion today, either they are atheists or personalists. We know that to God realization, we have three aspects: the Brahman personal, the Paramatma, and the Bhagwan. Majority of people, 98% of them, they are impersonalists or atheists. Those who are a little bit advanced, they are the yogis, but they try to find God in the heart. This is a Paramatma realization. Yeah. But those who can know God in full, in all his aspects, this Bhagavan is very, very rare. That Krishna consciousness is revealing, the form, the name, the abode, Goloka Vrindavan. Even the Mahamantra is coming from Goloka Vrindavan. Golokila Pramadana Harinam Sankirtan. No. Yeah, we are fond of getting things from other countries, from Europe, from America. But this Mahamantra is not coming from anywhere. It's coming from Goloka Vrindavan. No, who knew Goloka Vrindavan before? Nobody. We mention God from morning till evening, but we don't know who he is. That's why our suffering has no hand. Because if you really meet Krishna, you meet God, he's so attractive that we will put an end of our material anchoring. But because we may just mention his name, and if we don't meet him, so we still feel hungry, we still feel suffering. But as soon as we meet Krishna, meet God, automatically, just like someone is eating. When you are eating, nobody will tell you to stop eating. You feel satisfied at a point, then you will stop. So why we mention the name of God? We have so many religions in the world now, but the suffering keep increasing. Yeah, because Krishna is not revealed. So Srila Prabhupada, he gave us this Krishna consciousness for us to be awake and connect with our original source. And the meaning of Krishna consciousness means be conscious, Krishna consciousness, be conscious of God in everything we do. Srila Prabhupada created a revolution in religion. Generally, people go to religion to just beg God, give me this, give me that, give me bread, I'm suffering. But Srila Prabhupada reveals to us that we are already, full. The soul is Satchit Ananda, full of knowledge, full of eternity, and full of bliss. So if you know ourselves, then automatically we stop suffering, because we know that we are blissful, we are full of knowledge, and we are eternal. Without this knowledge, the tendency is to struggle very hard to be happy. We are already happy. Through Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada is revealing us that we are already in the position of happiness. No need to get happiness somewhere else, in some artificial means. This is the first thing, very important. Yeah. Because now the religion of the world now, they are like business. People go there to be happy. Prabhupada said, this is my mantra, chant and be happy. So happiness is already there. We are already happy. By constitution, the soul is already happy. Not that we give me a piece of bread or a nice pizza or a nice halva, be happy. No. We are already happy by constitution. And our original position, original and natural and eternal position is that we are Krishna Das. Jivira Swarup He Krishna Nita Das. This is our real original position. But we don't know. So we are having so many artificial positions that change every day, but still we are not happy. So Krishna consciousness is not just a new religion. Yeah. It's a new religion. It is the original way of life. So Srila Prabhupada brought it to us. What else can we expect from can we expect very important in our life. It's the most wonderful gift that Srila Prabhupada brought to us. So we have to really take advantage. You know, he sacrificed his life, was very, very old. He reached America already old, 70 years old already. No money, no friend, no support. But he sacrificed his own life because he knew that, yes, this treasure that my Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sarvasya Thakur gave me is very, very important. I must make sure I also give it to others. When with so many challenges, but he struggled to establish Krishna consciousness as the most wonderful gift in the world. How can we be happy if you are blind? No. How can we know the way if you are blind? How can you progress if you are led by blind people? Yes, so Srila Prabhupada brought us this wonderful Krishna consciousness. It's a package of wonderful things. So many things we want is there in this Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So we have to, as I said, to take advantage of this wonderful gift and make sure we please Srila Prabhupada by making the best use of that gift, which is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj. We thank you from the bottom of our heart to have spent some time to be with us and to share this whole package of Krishna consciousness as a gift and to remind us of our constitutional position. We are indeed very much grateful to you. Thank you. And now, dearest devotees, we move on to our next speaker. And our next speaker for this session is His Grace Ananta Acharya Prabhu. Ananta Acharya Prabhu is from Nigeria and is a disciple of His Holiness. And he wanted the glorification to be on Srila Prabhupada, as he kept his introduction low, but we are very happy to welcome him. And now we invite His Grace Jagannivas Prabhu to kindly offer Prabhu the Mahagalyan from Krishna Balaram Mandir, Vrindavan. Thank you for accepting our Galyan offering, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you very well.
I accepted the Galyan. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Yes, so I'm very happy to be among great devotees here. So I humbly pray so that they can give me their mercy so that I can actually speak from the heart, my realization of Srila Prabhupada. And I'm a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Swami Krishnapad. I took first initiation 1991, a second initiation 1993. Yes. So today, I actually will be speaking on the pains, the difficulty Srila Prabhupada passed through to bring this movement to humanity at large. The pains, the difficulty, the agony he passed through to see that we are all enjoying this movement. Because, with his bold spiritual vision, he built a house in which the whole world can live. Everybody can live in. you're Christian, you're Muslim, everybody, even the animals, everyone can live in peacefully. This is Srila Prabhupada's vision. Build a world in which the whole world can live. We can't talk about Prabhupada without talking about his early disciples. Early disciples. A few days ago, we listened to one of our father, His Holiness Giridhari Swami, spoke eloquently about Srila Prabhupada, about some of his activities. I was just wondering, I say, just envisage, look at his aura, very calm, very relaxed. So I was just trying to wonder how he was in the early days. He was wholesomely handsome, very cute. So I was just wondering, we can see the power of spirituality Srila Prabhupada brought in to humanity. So I don't want to take more of the time. And I also want to pay my obeisance to His Holiness Srila Das Goswami Maharaj. You know, through him, we were able to have a glimpse of Srila Prabhupada because he wrote elaborately about Srila Prabhupada. I remember those days in Nigeria, 25 years ago, there's a program we organized here in Nigeria called the Bhakti College. And Prabhu Guru Das, who is currently in Ghana now, was our headmaster. Those days, we staggerly walked into the temple. We were like a dog knocked down on the roadside. So we staggerly, you know, I was like a dog knocked down the roadside. We don't know of others. So I staggerly walked into the temple. One of the book Guru Das gave us, whenever a devotee is sent, we have this program, all centers normally send neophyte devotees to this center. It's in Abeokuta. It's Abeokuta temple I'm residing. I'm staying now in the temple. It's in the Abeokuta temple. Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria. So Guru Das will welcome us from the fight. Say, well, one of the book he gave us those days was Prabhupada Lilamrita. Another book again, Hare Krishna Explosion by Ayagriva. Prabhu was giving all this to read. You know, we were just neophyte those days. So we were reading, we were trying to copy, see how Prabhupada came up with this movement, how his early disciples, you know, embraced him, seriously, embraced him. So Guru Das will encourage us, make sure you read this. Later, we ask us some basic questions. What have we read? We will answer him. So we are very grateful to His Holiness Srila Das Goswami Maharaj for coming up with the biography of Srila Prabhupada. Led to us, I've not seen Srila Prabhupada, but I'm able to see him in Srila Das Goswami books. You see. So as I've said, that we discuss the difficulty, the agony, the pains Srila Prabhupada passed through. You see, there's one musician, one Caribbean musician called Bonnie Spear. You see, every day people are talking about celebration. What about the slavery days? What about the slavery days? The days of slavery, we know how it is. Agony, pains, shackles in the head, on the hands, legs. So similarly, what we are enjoying today, I want us also to talk about the pains His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada passed through. You know, the first time Prabhupada met a spiritual master, he knew quite well, yes, this is my guru. This is my guru. He has tested so many gurus. When he met Srila Prabhupada, when he met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. He said, yes, this is my guru. Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta had Prabhupada's hand. He was throwing with him. He said, please, if you ever get money, print books. Print books. You can speak English. I want this message to go all over the world. You can speak, you are very intelligent. You can speak English. Please print books. And Prabhupada had this order very to esteem. So he was actually working, on this to see how he can realize this. You see, he has a very strong faith in his Guru Maharaj, a very strong faith. Before he left India, he had difficulty, marital problem, businesses collapse. He was already practicing Parivrakarachaya, a wandering saint, a mendicant who has no place before he left India for America. You see, he was already practicing that, and difficulties were coming in. Those days, sometimes when he invites sadhu to his home, he will try to call his wife, call his children. They will ignore him. His wife will be upstairs taking hot tea. Upstairs. His wife, his children will just be moving around. They abandon him. You see? In spite of this, Prabhupada will ask the sadhus to pray for the family. To pray. You see, in 1950, proved very difficult for Srila Prabhupada. Proved very difficult. In the 50s, proved very difficult for him. His business collapsed. He had a very big pharmaceutical company. He was a big pharmacist, big chemist. Everything collapsed. So at this time, he was just penniless. He has nothing on him. He was just going, he has no home. He has to go to the temples, visiting temples, squatting with devotees in the temple, squatting with them, move from one temple to another temple, just to find a place to stay. You see. So at this process, even when it was this particular period, he was interpreting Back to Godhead magazine. Was not having money, but he would go to the printer, print this for me. When I said tomorrow, I will bring money for you. You print, I need few copies, please. We listen to him at times, okay? They will print and give him a little copies. He was doing this alone, single-handedly. With pens, he was doing this. An elderly man, elderly father, he was doing this in pens. Goes around, move around, sell his magazines. At one point, he was knocked down by a cow, a mad cow. He was knocked down, Prabhupada fell down. He encountered heat stroke also. There was a heat stroke, he encountered it. He was carried from the street. People came to rehabilitate him, to make him cool down. In spite of this, Prabhupada never gave up. He was going on, selling his book, moving on, Just imagine at that age, because he kept to the order of his spiritual master. Yes, we're always dreaming about his spiritual master. So there are 4 classes of devotees. Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Swami used to talk about this. He said the 4 class will be rejected. The 4 class will be rejected. The 3rd class is always grudging to carry on others. He said that is not so wonderful. He said the 2nd class, he always carry order when being instructed. When being instructed. He said that is even not even wonderful. He said, but the 1st class devotee is that devotee who knows what the guru wants. And he spontaneously go for it. Without even being instructed, he spontaneously go for it. He's a pure devotee. And Prabhupada show by this example. You see, spontaneously go for it. He never want to be recognized. That is Prabhupada. He never want to be recognized. He just go on, carry the order of his spiritual master. One of the big order, if you ever had money, print books. This was ringing in his head. Ringing in his head. In spite of all the bodily discomfort he was having. You can see the pains. Prabhupada, like I was asking, Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami, I said, all these difficulty, pains, like Prabhupada passed through, this, that. He laughed. He said, Prabhupada was never affected. Prabhupada is a pure devotee. All these things, all these happenings, drama, are all for the benefit of me and you. You're like Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna is never affected by the modes of material nature. Arjuna is transcendental, already in the pure state of goodness. So those dramas were happening just because of the condition, living entities, living beings. So similarly, Prabhupada, whether the difficulty encounter this and this, Prabhupada was an empowered personality, a great soul. He has never been affected with all these things. Because of preaching, so most of this drama came up as a record, you see. He was sleeping. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada appeared to him in his dream. Take 𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐝𝐴. Then people will listen to you. Take 𝐤𝐢𝐳. So when he woke up, he found it difficult to comprehend. He said, so he approached his god brother, 𝐾𝐸𝐴 Maharaj. 𝐾𝐸𝐴 Maharaj told him, yes, if you really want to preach, you must accept science. You must accept that order. Then you can preach. You see? Then you can preach. So he reluctantly wanted not to accept. He was just 𝐾𝐸𝐴 Maharaj pleaded and advised him, please take science. Then you can preach. You can preach. You see? So he reluctantly accepted science order. He reluctantly accepted. There's one place I've not mentioned before here. So one time he met a librarian as he was distributing his Back to Godhead magazine. He met a librarian. The librarian told him, this Back to Godhead you are distributing now, people will read and drop. Why not print book? Print book. Prabhupada realized immediately Krishna is speaking through this librarian. Immediately Prabhupada thought of it. So Prabhupada went, when he got back to the ashram, he dived into the books of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Bhakti Vinod, brought all out. And Srimad Bhagavatam, he brought all out. Because the books were in Bengali. So Prabhupada immediately did the translations on that. And he pretended it. Somebody who is not having it. Instead of having money, he printed it. He printed those 2 books. Srimad Bhagavatam was one of his first books he printed. Translated it. So one really, where is he getting this energy? All this energy, where is it coming from? You see? So this Prabhupada, this is mercy. Yeah? So nobody, if you want to become a preacher, please take science. So he took, reluctantly accepted science. You see? So now he was, meditating on the order of the spiritual master. Go to the West and preach. Go to the West. You are a very intelligent personality. He was always carrying the order of his spiritual master. He was always carrying it. So he approached Sumati Moraji, the Jaladuta ship owner. He approached her. He said, please, give me a passage. He went with confidence. He went with confidence with his science rope. Although he was not even having neat science clothes. Yeah. Saswarup explained that they were faded. Saswarup Das Goswami Maharaj explained that they have faded clothes. So he carried it. So he went, approached Sumati Moraji, the owner of the Jaladuta ship. You can never measure Prabhupada's biography without measuring Jaladuta. This Jaladuta. So Prabhupada approached her. Give me a passage. I want to go to America to preach. He will be confident. Moraji replied, hey, Baba, I can never give you. Please go back. I can't give you a passage to go to America. You are free. You are weak. How can you go? Prabhupada was very disappointed somehow. He was somehow disappointed. Prabhupada sat in our office for a very long time. Moraji will remind Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, Papa, go home. Moraji was saying this out of love for Prabhupada. But Prabhupada was already elderly Papa. What are you going to do in America? The people there, they are very crazy. Yeah, they don't have time for this, that. What are you going to do? Go home, Papa. Prabhupada refused. You know what Prabhupada did? Prabhupada left our office. And Prabhupada went and sat at the staircase. He was thinking, contemplating. What is the next program? The next what? What is the next, way? What? So Moraji staffs, they went and reported to her that Baba is still at the staircase, so he refused to go home. Oh. He refused to go home. So he said, okay, call him, let him come. So Prabhupada knew something something went to happen. So immediately he statically stood up and he went in. Say, Baba, get your things ready. And you are following now to America. Get your things ready. Prabhupada was very happy. He left our office with head resolved. He was very happy. And he went home, get his books. Saswarup Swami mentioned that he even tied some of his things in old saffron, tied. His back, his boss, his umbrella, So Prabhupada left. I went to America. So in the ship, Prabhupada said, if Atlantic would have shown its usual face, perhaps I would have died. But Lord Krishna has taken charge of the ship. And Prabhupada was inside the ship. Even besides that, he had seasickness. Sick. He was sick inside the sea. But the usual, manifestation of the Atlantic was not there. So Prabhupada was very happy. So when Prabhupada got to America, before he alighted from the ship, he personally signed he gave one of his Srimad Bhagavatam to the ship, to the captain of the ship, and signed it personally and gave him. You see. So at the airport, he was looking right, looking left. It's a strange place. So it's a very strange place. So he was just looking. Krishna works in a mysterious way. He works in a mysterious way. Agawa, Mr. Agawa, he knew quite well that Prabhupada was coming. So he sent a traveling guide to pick him at the airport. So when Prabhupada got to Agawa's home, he was welcome. We're living in a very small place. And Prabhupada met Sally, Agawa's wife, also American, that, so many kinds of all those non-devotional stuffs were going on, smoking, drinking. You can see amidst of all this, a Vaishnava, a Prabhupada, was placed into this kind of condition. So Sally, Agawa's wife, was, she acted fast. She knew quite well that this place is not fit for Prabhupada. Why don't let us shift Prabhupada from here? So Agawa thought of it, okay, that would be a good proposition. So Prabhupada, at the first, Prabhupada said they should not feel anything about it. It's comfortable. It's okay. It's okay with it. Don't feel nothing about that. Before we spoke, he said, feel nothing about that. He was just busy chanting his japa, chanting on his japa, So Sally explained, saying, Prabhupada it's a very humble person, very compassionate, very meek, very, that they love him, So just to give him a comfortable place where he can stay comfortably. So they suggested that he go to Dr. Mixra Yoga Ashram. Dr. Mixra Yoga Ashram. So Prabhupada went. He went there, but Prabhupada discovered that they are not full devotees like that. Very tolerated all area. Dr. Mixra discovered that Prabhupada actually needs privacy. It's okay. He ordered that Prabhupada can stay in one of the ashram, room 307. Room 307. That room 307 was so Prabhupada packed down to room 307. The room 307 is like a cubicle, like a cubicle. No kitchen, no toilet, no bedroom, no toilet, nowhere to, no kitchen. Hey, very like a cubicle, small. So Prabhupada accepted. He lied down his blanket, or he came also with blanket, very small blanket, and slept. When he wants to take his bath, you have to walk from room 307 to Dr. Mixra Ashram to take his bed. So he was doing this. Constantly, he was doing this. You see, this is Prabhupada. So what we are seeing today, the edifice, planetarium, Sri Mayapur project, everything, it started with very humble beginning. So Prabhupada set all this as a standard for people to follow, for devotees to follow. You see. So he was staying in that room, the cubicle. Let me call it 307 cubicle. He was staying there. And something happened. Something happened. His precious typewriter and tape recorder, very precious. The first one was stolen. So somebody donated another one for him. There was one time he went outside to have a walk. Before, when he returned back, his typewriter was stolen. This was stolen. When Prabhupada came back, it was very, he felt bad. So he said, he knows the janitor, the one who takes care of this place and clean this place, he's the one responsible. So arrangement was made that Prabhupada now should go to Uptown. So it was a park now to Uptown, a very small place. You know, Uptown also is also like a miniature. It's also like the Bowery. I'm coming to the Bowery. Coming to that, the Bowery. So Prabhupada went down there and stayed Uptown. At this place, there are some very neophyte devotees, neophyte people were coming. He was trying to see how to organize them, how to help. But there's one person called David Hallam. Prabhupada took great interest in David Hallam. He wanted actually to trade David Hallam. Not Allen Ginsberg. This is not Allen Ginsberg. This is David Hallam. Allen Ginsberg is the Fafa, you know. So Prabhupada tried to help him, David. But David is an addict to drugs, LSD, marijuana. He takes these things, takes his excess. Prabhupada will caution him. This is not good for you. Stop it. Sometimes they will not listen. Prabhupada will tell him, David, don't put soap on the floor of the bedroom. Take the soap off. David will not listen. Every day when David takes his bath, we put soap on the floor. So Prabhupada was trying to caution him. Prabhupada told him, don't worry. Prabhupada had in mind to take him to India, to introduce him to devotees in India that he has made a first-class Brahmana. Prabhupada had that, has made a first-class Brahmana. So David approached Prabhupada one day. Said, Prabhupada, please give me, I want to take, make me a Brahmana, make me a Brahmana. Prabhupada told him, be calm. I will do that, be calm. Prabhupada tried all the way to calm David. You know. So David became so mad that at a point, one time he went out and returned and he yelled at Prabhupada. Some of the hippies were someone a little cool-headed ones. They made a cycle around Prabhupada so that not a whole Prabhupada. He yelled at Prabhupada. This and this. He ran the premises. When Prabhupada discovered this, the yelling, the shouting, this, Prabhupada said, no. Prabhupada look left, look right. He glided down. Some of the hippies who were at the staircase or the door, they were amazed of Prabhupada's mood. Why Prabhupada should they come this way? to this level. They were afraid. What might have happened? What is going on? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. We
Yes.
are just a bit, just a bit ahead of time, so behind time. Sorry, so we have to.
I will round up now. I will round up now. So let me round up with to the matchless gift. So Prabhupada went downstairs, was moving around, moving the street, moving all around. So Prabhupada now called Carl. He said, please, Carl, come. I want to see you. So Prabhupada, Carl came. He said, look at what is happening. So he spoke everything about David to Carl. So Prabhupada said he can never go back to that place. Say he can never go. He can't go there. So Carl himself. So Prabhupada told Carl, call my grant. Please help to call my grant. You know, my grant is he looks responsible among all of them. So someone, he has some money that this. He was also a musician. For those who don't know, my grant is Mukunda Goswami. So he called my grant. So Prabhupada explained to my grant. Said, this is what's happening. I cannot go back there. This is the madness of David. Immediately, my grant called estate agents. He said, please. No. He got on the newspaper. He checked and discovered that, okay, let me call this estate agent. He called and said, okay, there's a place. We have a empty place in the Bowery. So, okay. So they made an arrangement to meet at the Bowery. So as they were planning to go, Prabhupada told Carl, he said, we will also go. Let's go. Let's follow them. So they went. The arrangement was made how to paint the place. So Mukunda, my grant, who is Mukunda, the Goswami, paid for everything. Carl also, they made arrangement how everything can be paid. And Prabhupada also personally gave a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam and signed it himself and gave to Mr. Gardiner, who is the estate agent. So there's now time to move from Uptown to the Bowery. So the parts, before moving, they clean everywhere in the matchless gift was neat, clean, renovation took place. So as they now from Uptown, they're now moving to the Bowery. So everyone, they pack every belongings. The Prabhupada head is what they call it is bus on his way going. So Srila Goswami Maharaj explained that it was as the movement was like a safari. It was like a safari. Prabhupada, sometimes my grand said when he looked back, he saw how difficult the Prabhupada was struggling with his bus. So he realized, oh, I would have taken a bus, would have chartered a bus to get all the devotees and to get Prabhupada. The EPs also escorted. They were all escorting Prabhupada. They were all in the line. So Srila Goswami explains it was like a safari, you know. So Prabhupada went to the matchless gift and settled there, and this happened to be how the Hare Krishna movement started from the matchless the gift. So I still have so much to say, but I have to cut it. So I thank you all very much for having me. And I will also suggest time to time we should also talk about the difficulties, the pains Srila Prabhupada passed through, not just the glamour or that aspect. The pains, the difficulty is a way of raising our consciousness also. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anantacharya Prabhu, just before we leave Zoom, at the beginning we had some network issue, and His Grace Jagannath Prabhu really would like to offer you the Mahagalan properly from Krishna Baram Mandir Vrindavan. So please, we beg you to please accept it. And we thank you for being with us for this wonderful, deeply explanation that you gave on Srila Prabhupada early days in America, and so many were inspired and wrapped up with attention. Unfortunately, due to the limited time, we couldn't carry on. We sincerely beg for your forgiveness, but like you said, next time maybe for a lengthier session. Thank you so much, Anantacharya Prabhu, for being with us for this session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dearest devotees, for being with us, for staying tuned, for staying connected. And now we will be watching a video from the Bhajan Gurudev, Kripa Bindu Diya, nicely made with love from the devotees in Nairobi. So we invite you all to stay tuned, stay connected, and be with us. So shortly on your screen, the video will appear. Thank you.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Kripa Bindu Diya 𝐤𝐢𝐳𝐝 Trina Peka Adivina Kripa Bindu Diya 𝐤𝐢𝐳𝐝 Bolo Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Hare Krishna, our deepest appreciation and gratitude for this heartfelt offering from all the devotees in Nairobi. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, dearest devotees. So now I would like to invite Her Grace 𝐶𝐤𝐬𝐢 Mataji, who will do the rest of the emceeing and to facilitate the program. Welcome, 𝐶𝐤𝐬𝐢 Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Navishwarana. It was indeed a heartfelt offering, a very sweet offering for the devotees of Nairobi. And we would also like to thank His Holiness Charudeshna Swami Maharaj for such an inspiring and wonderful talk, and also His Grace Anantacharya Prabhu for such a wonderful offering. Thank you so much. So now we begin with the second part of the offering. Our first speaker for this part is His Grace Jai Gokul Das Prabhu, disciple of Hridayanand Maharaj. He got to know about Hare Krishna movement even before it was established in Brazil through Srila Prabhupada books, brought to him by USA by a couple of his friends from his hometown. And he began visiting the first official ISKCON temple opened in Brazil in 1974. And also, at that time, he made his own Japamala and began to chant since then. Thank you so much. Here is the recorded offering of His Grace Jai Gokul Das Prabhu, which is appearing on your screen.
Querido Srila Prabhupada, por favor, aceite nossas sinceras reverências a seus pés de lótus. Ó majestosa personalidade, ó personificação do exemplo vivo, Acharya Bhaktivedanta. Por quanto tempo ainda o mundo, beneficiado por sua divina graça, se manterá silencioso e ingrato para com sua excelsa e fulgente pessoa? Da mesma maneira que pessoas ignorantes e estúpidas se beneficiam da bondosa Mãe Terra e nunca a consideram com respeito, cometendo todos os tipos de abusos e absurdos contra ela, nós, almas condicionadas, dentro da mesma ignorância, nos beneficiamos, mesmo inconscientemente, pela passagem de sua magnânima personalidade por esse mundo, por sua misericórdia arrebatadora e gentil, sem nunca lhe glorificar à altura, com respeito e gratidão. Como uma grande manada que sedenta se dirige a um cristalino e refrescante reservatório de água e, saciando seus anseios, em seguida vira-lhe as costas sem nenhuma consideração. Da mesma forma, muitas e muitas vezes nós nos aproximamos do lago refrescante das dores da existência material dos seus santos pés de lótus, matamos nossa sede de conhecimento, nos refrescamos do calor ardente da angústia material e depois viramos-lhe as costas, assim como animais humanos ignorantes, sem nenhuma consideração ou gratidão. Ó Srila Prabhupada, quantos caminhos sofridos, percorridos, pisados por chão em vão? Quantos frutos colhidos por tanta imaginação? Brahmayam Sarvabhutani. O Senhor apareceu para acabar com essa viagem alucinógena e agora estamos comemorando solenemente seu santo, soberbo e soberano aparecimento. O Senhor irrompeu brilhantemente de dentro do seu próprio luzeiro transcendental, na escuridão de nossas vidas, nas trevas dessa era imunda. O Senhor é a estrela mais brilhante e dardejante na constelação de sábios que brilha nessa era Kali Yuga. Da mesma maneira que Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu foi escolhido por Sri Advaita Acharya para outorgar salvação para as pessoas caídas dessa era, o Senhor foi escolhido por Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu para altivamente distribuir as joias do cantar dos santos nomes como o processo para a autorrealização em toda parte, em todo o mundo, nessa era. O Senhor é a pessoa mais bondosa e misericordiosa dos três mundos, porque o Senhor é igual ao seu Senhor adorável, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Queremos bradar com ressonância suas glórias pelos quatro cantos desse mundo. Queremos servi-lo e amá-lo. Queremos distribuir seus livros, imprimir seus livros, estudar seus livros, sermos salvos por eles e salvar a todos com eles. Queremos prestar nossas humildes reverências aos livros de Srila Prabhupada, que não são diferentes dele, que não é diferente de Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, que não é diferente de Sri Krishna. Todas as glórias ao movimento da 𝐒𝐰𝐴 de Srila Prabhupada, todas as glórias ao movimento de Sankirtan de Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As nossas reverências eternas à luz que tem iluminado o mundo, sua divina graça, Abhay Chara Naravindam Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Seu servo Jai Gokula Das, em nome de seus servos fiéis da Casa de Cultura Vaishnava Srila Prabhupada e todos os devotos congregados do Suzano Mandir. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful offering. And now we move on to our next speaker for today. Our next speaker is His Grace Premanand Prabhu. Premanand Prabhu, as you know, is a very senior devotee. He's from Mauritius and disciple of His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. He's one among the senior disciples, as we know, from Mauritius. He has served for many, many years at Sri Krishna Balaram Temple, promoting Gurukul classes for children and advanced spiritual courses like Bhakti Shastri for adults. Presently, he is serving as temple president at Bhakti Vedanta Ashram. So here you are. We would like to invite His Grace Premanand Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you are not, sorry to interrupt, you are not audible. You have to unmute yourself. No, still not. No, still we can't hear you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we request you to select English from the languages options that you see in the bottom right globe. Kindly select English and we'll see if we can hear you. On the bottom right of your screen, there'll be a globe marked. You have to click on that and select English.
No, we still can't hear you, Prabhuji. Sorry to interrupt, Prabhuji, you're still not audible. No, not yet, not yet.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we'll just shortly connect with you to give you technical assistance on this. Meanwhile, Mataji, we can move on to the next sequence. We'll just connect with Prabhuji how to resolve it.
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna. Meanwhile, Prabhuji sought out his. So now our next speaker is Her Grace Tulsi Toshika Mataji. Tulsi Toshika Mataji is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj. She has been serving at Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir since her teenage days. She is actively engaged in service for the festivals held in the temple. She is also well known for her expertise in garland making for the deities. So you can start your offering now, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Shra Gurudev, Hare Krishna, dear assembled devotees. I would like to read my offering to Srila Prabhupada with your permission. Dearest Srila Prabhupada, please accept my most humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. All glories to you. Srila Prabhupada, I will always remain indebted to you. What you have done for us is priceless. I can never repay this debt. Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, you're the embodiment of the 26 qualities of a devotee. You're magnanimous in the truest sense of the word, as your gifts to the world are unlimited and filled with tremendous spiritual value. You have made so many sacrifices for the benefit of mankind. You're so considerate. You value everyone. Out of your compassion, you have brought the treasure of divine love for all of us. Whatever you have given us is eternally beneficial to the soul. You have so mercifully brought the spiritual world for us in the form of 𝐶𝐚. Srila Prabhupada, you're the ideal disciple and ideal guru, since you have followed the order of your spiritual master perfectly and have created many stalwarts disciples. In the process, you had to leave your wife and children and live without proper facilities, travel all alone on a cargo ship where you suffered 2 heart attacks. You lost your business, money, family for all of us. As a result of your sacrifices, millions across the world today have the opportunity to live a Krishna conscious life. You have given us the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any alteration for personal motives. You spoke truthfully and boldly, never altering the pure message in cowardly deference to the time and circumstance to attract followers, fame, and money. Srila Prabhupada, you have transformed every material thing into spiritual. You have changed our consciousness, the way we look at things. After joining 𝐸SCON, we understood that everyone and everything is meant for the satisfaction of the Lord. You have taught us the biggest truth, that we are not this body, but part and parcel and an eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, you are indeed Patita Pavan, savior of the fallen souls. You have reduced the number of rounds from 64 to 16 rounds without reducing the quality. Moreover, you have written and translated all the scriptures for our sake while sleeping only for a few hours per day. You have introduced Jagannath Rath Yatra in every country, and thanks to you, everyone is able to get darshan of Lord Jagannath. Also, you have revealed the Dham and all the holy places for us.
Yeah, now I select Bhagavan.
You
Sorry.
have given.
Okay. Please continue, Mataji.
You have given us all the facilities needed to make progress in our spiritual life and therefore go back home, back to Godhead. You are so humble and without false prestige that you never take any credit for your accomplishments. Although you were instrumental in propagating the message of Lord Chaitanya all over the world, yet you remained humble always. Srila Prabhupada, you saved my life. If you had not done all this, I would be drowning in the darkest region of ignorance, completely bewildered in this material world. Thank you a million times. May I always be engaged in your service and in the service of your servants, your most fallen servant, Tulasitoshika Devi Dasi. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Now we would like to invite His Grace Premanand Prabhu. I think his mic is settled now. Premanand Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, we
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Please continue.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Namam Vishnu Vajaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at the dust of your lotus feet on this most auspicious occasion of your 125th Vyasa Puja. All glories to your divine grace. On this most auspicious day, the disciples, grand disciples, and well-wishers of Srila Prabhupada impatiently wait for the opportunity to express their heartfelt emotions and love for him. Everyone experiences immense pleasure in offering words of glorification in the appreciation of your divine grace. When a conditioned soul like me tries to glorify, when a conditioned souls like me try to glorify a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, it is as if glorifying the emperor of the world like a village landlord. I humbly beg at the feet of everyone who loves Srila Prabhupada to please forgive me for minimizing the glory of his divine grace. Just like the glories of the Lord are unlimited, similarly the glories of the representatives of the Lord are also unlimited. Srila Prabhupada, today is the most auspicious day because Srila Prabhupada appeared on this planet. Your appearance has stopped the influence of Kali Yuga for anyone who took or will take the shelter of your lotus feet. To the degree one will take shelter of the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, to that degree he will be saved from the onslaught of material nature. It is your kindness and infinite compassion that the highest benediction of life, which is love of God, can be attained even by the most fallen and degraded souls. Dear Srila Prabhupada, your kindness and compassion for all living entities is like an ocean. Its depths cannot be measured. It is just unlimited. And the ninth offense to the holy name tells us not to preach to the envious people. By preaching to the envious people, one will only increase the envy. So in order not to make them more envious, the scripture says, do not preach to them, but Srila Prabhupada's love for the suffering conditioned souls is so pure, powerful, and transcendental that even such unlimitedly unfortunate conditioned souls are delivered by his causeless mercy and blessing. Once, Harisori Prabhu, who was Srila Prabhupada's servant at the time, said to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, everyone loves you so much. And Prabhupada replied, yes, because I love everyone. That is the power of true love. Some people may criticize Srila Prabhupada for using strong words in his lectures and purports such as rascals, dogs, hogs, or camel. Such criticism is due to only profound of knowledge. The proof is that if we address someone with such terms, even if we do it with good intention, people will show us how rascals are they. Bhagavad Gita teaches us the activities in itself are not the cause of bondage, but the consciousness in which the activities are performed is the cause of bondage or liberation. Similarly, the strong words of Srila Prabhupada is so much imbued with transcendental love of God that whoever reads or hears Srila Prabhupada's so-called strong words get purified, and they like to be called like this. That is the power of genuine love of a person who is on the transcendental platform. O most merciful Srila Prabhupada, today you are being glorified in the world from all directions. Those who are praising you are extremely fortunate, for you have bestowed your mercy upon them. Just by praising Srila Prabhupada, one's good fortune will arise and all misfortune will vanish. Srila Prabhupada has compassion, even for those who do not glorify him or are envious of him. As the very embodiment of mercy, Srila Prabhupada emanates nothing but compassion. Through not everyone is able to receive it equally on account of their particular destiny. This does not imply that you are partial. Srila Prabhupada is so merciful that he showers his mercy even on those who are envious of him. In the book, I Built You a Temple, on page 201 to 202, Srila Prabhupada addressed Mrs. Nair that Srila Prabhupada will take care of her just as a daughter. The person who creates so many obstacles in building of this temple, still Prabhupada accepted, gave her his mercy to Mrs. Nair. Lochan Das Thakur, in his Chaitanya Mangal, text 562 to 565, refers to Srila Prabhupada. There, Lord Chaitanya speaks of the reasons of his descent, and he says, taking sharp sword of congregational chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I will root out and destroy the demoniac mentality in the heart of all the conditioned souls. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, brought the most powerful weapon of the congregational chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, with which he root out and destroy the demoniac mentality from the heart of all the conditioned souls. The Lord spread the holy name all over India and predicted that one day the holy name will be chanted in every town and village of the whole world. But then who will take the holy name on the other side of the ocean outside India? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared, if some sinful people escape and give up religious principles, go to far off countries, then my Senapati Bhakta will come at that time to give them Krishna consciousness. We devotees in ISKCON, we accept Srila Prabhupada is that person who is the empowered representative of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? It's because Srila Prabhupada fulfilled the prediction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He achieved success where others failed. He utilized everything in the service of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya, built a house in which the whole world can live and progress toward the ultimate goal of life. He named the house ISKCON. As a father, Srila Prabhupada equipped the house with all facilities which will help any surrendered soul to attain the goal. Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya, established the philosophical understanding, the philosophical teaching through his books. These books are the law book of ISKCON. He set examples by personal act. Previous acharyas gave the principles. Srila Prabhupada gave the details. Srila Prabhupada made unprecedented adjustment at the same time. He made no compromise. He established ISKCON with temples all over the world. He established the governing structure, which is different from others. He established basic standards, sadhana standards, which cannot be changed. He gave deity worship standards. He gave the 7 purposes of ISKCON. Some people say that although Srila Prabhupada is a pure representative of the Lord, but they do not agree that there are also other pure devotees in the house he built. In their opinion, Srila Prabhupada is the only pure devotee within ISKCON. Therefore, one should go somewhere else to associate with pure devotees. This is in fact the greatest insult to his divine grace, because they doubt the purity and the exaltedness of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada gave the proof that there are many Uttama Adhikari in ISKCON. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Madhya Lila, chapter 22, text 65, one who is expert in logic, argument, and revealed scriptures, and who has firm faith in Krishna, is classified as a topmost devotee. He can deliver the whole world. Then Srila Prabhupada in Nectar Instruction text 5, he says, an Uttama Adhikari is not interested in blaspheming others. His heart is completely clean, and he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. Further, he says, out of many such Vaishnavas, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in devotional service of the Lord and strictly following all the regulatory principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds on japa beads, and always thinking of how to expand the Krishna consciousness movement. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as an Uttamadhikari, a highly advanced devotee, and his association should always be full. And an Uttamadhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. A tree is known by its fruits, and a man is known by his deeds. The glory of Srila Prabhupada is that he has created so many pure devotees, and his disciples are continuing the work Srila Prabhupada left for them to continue. Srila Prabhupada is a missionary, and a missionary means one who thinks beyond his lifetime. A true leader is one who creates leaders. Srila Prabhupada said that this Hare Krishna movement will go on for the next 10,000 years. That means he created many leaders to continue the mission, and the leaders he created is continuing to create leaders. Dear Srila Prabhupada, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to serve you and the devotees. Without you, we would never get the mercy of devotees. And I beg at your lotus feet to keep me under your shelter, your insignificant servant, Premananda Das. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Indeed, it was a very sweet offering, and undoubtedly Prabhupada is merciful, where he has built a home for all of us, where all of us can stay together, chant the glories of the Lord. And also we would like to thank Her Grace Tulsi Toshika Mataji for a very, very sweet offering. Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji. And now a very interesting part of this session, the much awaited, our quiz time. So here are your questions. Prabhupada declared Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir and Mayapur city to be. And here are your options. We have 4 options. Option A, the most beautiful place to visit. Option B, ISKCON's world headquarters. Option C, his spiritual home. And option D, his ISKCON business center. Let's see who is the fastest one and the winner of a very surprise gift, which you will be receiving at the end of all the 5 sessions. And the correct answer is B, option B, ISKCON's world headquarters. And now we move on to our next question. Our next question is, name the ship that Srila Prabhupada took to go to the west. I repeat, name the ship that Srila Prabhupada took to go to the west. And your options are, again, we have 4 options. Option A, Yamaduta. Option B, Vishnuduta. And option C, Jalduta, and the last option is Hamsaduta. It's very easy answer, but you have to click the right answer. All the options seems to be tricky and confusing, but then again, let's see who is the winner. The fastest one will be the winner. So quickly log in your correct answers. And the right answer is Jalduta. Let's see, stay connected with us till the end of the session so that we can announce the winners. And now we move on to our next presentation. Our next item will be a video, a talk by Srila Prabhupada, and he will be speaking on If You Have Money, Print Books. So here is the video, a talk by Srila Prabhupada.
My Guru Maharaj asked me that if you get some money, you print books. So, there was a private meeting talking, some of my important God brothers also there, it was in Radha Kunda. So, Guru Maharaj was speaking to me that since we have got this Bhagavajar marble temple, there has been so many dissensions. And everyone is thinking, we'll occupy this room or that room, that. I wish, therefore, to sell this temple and the marble and print some book. Yes. So I took up this from his mouth, that he is very fond of books. And he told me personally that if you get some money, print books. Therefore I am stressing on this point. Where is book? Where is book? Where is book? So kindly help me. This is my request. Print as many books in as many languages and distribute throughout the whole world. Then Krishna consciousness movement will automatically increase. Now the educated, learned scholars, they're appreciating our movement by reading books, by taking practical result. Dr. 𝐁𝐡𝐚𝐤𝐬, he has written one book, perhaps you know, Hare Krishna and Counter Culture. A very nice book about our movement, and he is giving importance. He has admitted that, Swamiji, you have done a wonderful thing because you have turned the drug-addicted hippies into devotees of Krishna, and they are prepared for the service of humanity.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada, our beloved grandfather. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving us this movement. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving us such wonderful scriptures. Thank you so much. And now our next speaker for the day is His Grace Avesh Rupa Prabhuji and his wife Nitya Kishori Mataji. So both Prabhuji and Mataji, they will be giving their offering. Avesh Rupa Prabhuji is the follower of ISKCON since his teenage days. Since then, he's taken the path of Bhakti, this movement, very seriously and took initiation from His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj. He is a wonderful Kirtaniya and he remains a source of inspiration for all the other devotees. Her Grace Nitya Kishori Devidasi Mataji is wife of His Grace Avesh Rupa Prabhuji, and just like him, she also joined the movement in her teenage days and is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj. She is basically a teacher by profession and a wonderful mother bringing up her son. So thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji, and we invite both of you to read out your offerings.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please kindly accept our humble obeisances. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashuta Dechatarini. Dearest Srila Prabhupada, please accept our most humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Happy Vyasa Puja to you. It is by great fortune that we have obtained the opportunity to say a few words in your glorification despite our conditioning. It is only by your causeless mercy that we have acquired the treasure of Krishna consciousness. When we first came in contact with your divine books through devotees, we could not defy your powerful words due to the strong conviction in them. Then you expanded your mercy further by sending Srila Gurudev to guide us in our spiritual lives. Indeed, Srila Prabhupada, at each step you have protected and blessed us with wonderful jewels in the form of your books, lectures, and disciples. Even till now, when we study your books, we can feel your compassion to save us from the miseries of material existence. Srila Prabhupada, you have always emphasized that preaching is the essence, so we humbly beg unto you to please use us as instruments in your preaching mission. Srila Prabhupada, we humbly seek for strength in surmounting difficulties in our spiritual lives. Please help us study your books prayerfully. Even though we can never repay the debt of what you have given us, we can simply aspire to follow all your instructions sincerely and seriously. Thank you for everything, Srila Prabhupada, our dear great-grandfather. Happy 125th anniversary to you, Srila Prabhupada, your aspiring servants, Avesh Rupa Das and Nitya Kishori Radha Devidasi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji, for this beautiful and very sweet offering. Thank you so much. And now we have our next speaker with us, His Grace Chaitanya Bhagavat Prabhu. So we will now like to invite His Grace Chaitanya Bhagavat Prabhu. He is a Diksha disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj from Ghana, and currently he is serving as the acting temple president of Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir, ISKCON. So he assists Maharaj personally whenever Maharaj is there in Ghana. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for being here with us. Now I please invite you to read out your offering. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna devotees, please kindly accept my humble obeisances. Oh my dear Srila Prabhupada, please kindly accept my most respectful obeisances. All glories to your most exalted lotus feet. As I try to find words to describe your transcendental attributes, my brain seems to be inactive, my intelligence to have abandoned me, and all words seem to shy away from me. At this point, I realize how weak and unfit I am to attempt to write a speech in your honor. Songs of the chivalrous and heroic activities of a great king are sung by experts, well-cultured, and glorious personalities who are most qualified to honor the king. Similarly, only one who you have personally empowered and blessed can actually know and understand the power and ways of your magnanimous activity. Therefore, in my insignificant attempt to write this offering of gratitude, I beg for the mercy of my dear Gurudev, your grandson, through whom and many other sons and daughters your divine grace still flows. What really amazes me about you is your endless compassion, how you are ever ready to give Krishna consciousness to anyone, anywhere, ready or not. The enthusiasm to take up Krishna consciousness is nothing but a divine touch. If not, how in the world could I, who was geographically and consciously very far away from Krishna, have the opportunity to engage in Krishna consciousness? You carry the seed of devotion to Radha Krishna, Vrindavan and all their confidential associates, and planted it all over the world. Africans naturally had a taste of Vedic culture. In the traditional African religion, ancestral worship is prominent as means of attaining the supreme. Only few who were very fortunate even knew about demigod worship. It would have taken me many lifetimes to even have a chance to direct paths to Krishna. Because your causeless mercy knows no bounds, you personally empowered your confidential associates to this land, not to exploit like the others, but to implant Bhakti database. As a result, many years later, this boy from nowhere can also chant and dance the holy name of the Lord. That is how much you have changed not only me, but countless souls' fortune. For this, I am eternally grateful and indebted to you. Oh, grandsire, though we sometimes act foolishly, not taking seriously the family business which you sacrifice so much to establish, but please do not disown me. Please do not take my inattentive and irresponsible activities seriously. Having taken shelter of your dear grandson, Srila Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami, this boy will surely learn how to appreciate and take seriously this business of Krishna consciousness. Your divine hands are decorated with a walking stick to clear the path back to Godhead, a japa bag to launch the missile of the Maha Mantra to the nooks and corners of the globe, a suitcase which is the personification of the Vedas, an umbrella to give shelter to the whole world. Being a swan-like devotee, you always hold your head high in the sky, meditating on Guranitai. You are very simple yet extremely opulent, very friendly yet very grave, so humble yet so bold. Oh, he whose glories was foretold. You were so old, but carried the load of so many fallen souls. Oh, divine artist, we offer our lives in your hands for you to shape and mold. You never seek praise. Your only goal is that the glories of Krishna may unfold. Therefore, my heartfelt prayer, O great Emperor, is that you may eternally engage this rich service in the association of your unalloyed devotees. Thank you so much, my ever well-wisher, Srila Prabhupada. I am forever indebted and grateful to thee. Hare Krishna, your servant Chaitanya Bhagavatas.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a deep, sweet, and wonderful offering. Thank you so much. And now we move on to our next program. We'll be having a talk by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj will be speaking on Prabhupada's technique. So here it is on your screens.
we came, the library, devotees working with the library party, we came in to see Srila Prabhupada, and he gave us this very simple technique. And the technique was that we should get the order from a very prestigious professor, university, or institution. And after getting it, we should keep it, or keep a copy of it. And then when we visit other universities, or other persons connected in academia, we should show them the order that we receive. And it was a simple thing. When you think about it, he was really telling us everybody has their gurus, everybody has their acharyas. And everyone wants to be about something that's successful or important. And what important people do, others will also do. So we started doing that as we traveled through America, through Europe, and some of the other places, India. We started using that as a technique. We would go to those places. You know, we take the most difficult place or the most prestigious place. And whatever we get from there, then we would go to other institutions, other professors, and show them, oh, such and such. And I did this, for instance, one of the biggest sales we ever had in the history of the library party was at Brigham Young University. And I met the spiritual head of the Mormons, the Mormon church at that time. And, you know, they had, I think, an academic head and a spiritual head. And I'm not sure which one, it's so long ago that I met. But I met one of the heads. And he was so enthused about Srila Prabhupada's books. He knew many, many languages, about 20 languages. He was a linguist, historian, philosopher, etc. And he had been studying various things from Vedic cosmology. So when he saw Prabhupada's books, the way it was formatted and the detail, he was in ecstasy. He bought a complete set of Bhagavatam, 𝐂 for himself, ordered for his department library, wrote a note and told the librarian for the general library, buy these books, everything this book salesman has. Now when I took his order, took his letter to the librarian, then when I started visiting other departments, see, at most schools we would sell books maybe to the history department, philosophy, you know, comparative literature, you know, religion, and sometimes we could stretch it to other places. But here, I had the letter from the Acharya of the Institute. So every place, every department I would go to, I would talk with them, and I would tell them that I had just went to visit such and such, and he was such a nice person, and he, I probably just pulled it out kind of casually, he bought this, and they would practically snatch the sheet from me and see, oh, 𝐤𝐬𝐬, that was his name, he's gotten this, oh, let me, also I want the same thing. And then in a few cases, he had given me some professors to see. And I would go see the professor and I would tell them that I was sent by 𝐤𝐬𝐬, and they would be so happy. Oh, he knows me, he sent you, what? And it was just so easy. It was all based on the technique that Srila Prabhupada had given us. By the time I left that university, I think I had distributed about 16 or 17 standing orders. All the major departments had 4 Bhagavatam sets, Chaitanya Charitamritas. So almost 20 book sets just in that one school, you know, just from that little technique.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for giving us such a sweet, simple, and wonderful technique. Thank you so much. And now a quick look at the results of this quiz. Let's see who is the winner. So here are your results, and the winner for question number 2 is, our first winner is Radhakund Mataji, second is Sheshada Prabhuji, and third is Madhuri Radha Devi Dasi. Congratulations to all the 3 winners. And the winners of our question 2 is, first winner is Madhusudan Vishnu Das Prabhuji, second is Bhakt Amit Joshi, and third is Sakhi Vrinda Devi Dasi. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all winners of this quiz session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear devotees. It was indeed a very wonderful session, and we are indeed honored to have you here for this wonderful occasion organized by His Holiness Bhakti Dev Damodar Swami Maharaj. Now I would like to request His Holiness Bhakti Dev Damodar Swami Maharaj. Maharaj, would you like to speak something to our gathered assembled devotees here?
Hare
Krishna, dear devotees. It was beautiful presentation from everyone. It's so sweet to hear from Gurudev. The standing orders system, which is very, very nice for distributing books. And the order from the Bhakti Saraswati to Prabhupada that he should print books instead of having building which should bring competition among the five disciples. He print books. Of course, Prabhupada didn't say we should not build temples, but the most important thing is the books will not bring any fights with anybody. So it's beautiful. We have all this rich presentation, Premanand Prabhu, wonderful, sweet. Offerings and all other devotees who have.
Sorry to interrupt you, Maharaj. We can't hear you.
Chaitanya Bhagavat Prabhu and all the devotees, their offerings are beautiful. So we thank all the devotees for everything, and we pray the Prabhupada's blessings with all of us, so we can continue to represent him to his full satisfaction. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much. We are really grateful to you for your wonderful words. We would like to thank all the devotees here. Stay connected, and please, we welcome you again for our evening session. Again, we are going to have interesting programs, talks, and so on. And before we close for the day, I would like to, let's quickly go for the schedule for today's evening or morning or as per your time zones. So we'll be having a talk by His Holiness Bhakti Di Damodara Maharaj, Back to Basics, Part 2, followed by the offering. And then we are going to have His Grace Srivas Banacharya Prabhu giving his offering. And very soon after that, we'll be having a musical offering by our children, Krishna consciousness children. And after that, we'll restart with our offering by grand disciples and great grand disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And then we are going to have a talk by Srila Prabhupada, where Prabhupada is going to speak to us. And the last element, the last item for today's evening will be a talk by His Holiness Bhakti 𝐶𝐸𝐺𝐢 Swami Maharaj about Your Life is Successful. So please stay connected. Let's join again for the evening session or the morning session as per your time zone, whatever it may be. Stay tuned, stay connected, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Shaguru Edashe Karuna Kori Piya Padashaya Dohe Amaya Tomara Chorona Dhori Piya Padashaya Dohe Amaya Tomara Chorona Dhori Kaya Begadami Kaya Dosha Shodhi Saya Guna Deho Dasi Esa Sanga Dehe Amare 𝐁𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐴 Sanghe Ekake amar nahi pae bol Hare Nama Sankirtane Tumi kripa kore Radha bindu diya देह कृष्ण नाम धने